Good evening and welcome to Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Tina Jha with News Tonight. Before starting the bulletin, I want to make an appeal to all our viewers. We at Rajya Sabha TV appeal to all of you to stay safe from the COVID-19 pandemic. Wear face masks and wear them properly, covering your nose and mouth. Wash hands and face regularly and maintain physical distancing while stepping outside. Remember, these simple precautions are all that it takes to defeat the pandemic. Let's now get you the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi targets the opposition parties, says people who cheated farmers for decades are now misleading them on the historic agricultural reform laws. Reiterates government's commitment to doubling farmers' incomes. The Prime Minister interacts with teams involved in the development of the COVID-19 vaccine, urges scientists to educate public about the vaccine in simple language. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu chairs SCO Summit, emphasizes mutual cooperation to fight pandemic, seeks united efforts against nations supporting terrorism. Ten newly elected Rajya Sabha members take oath. Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu exhorts them to work to enhance dignity and prestige of the House. And Varanasi comes alive with lights for Dev Deepavali. Prime Minister Modi inaugurates work on Varanasi-Prayagraj 6-lane highway, asserts that many such projects in the last 6 years have made people's lives easier. Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu welcomed the newly elected and re-elected members to the Upper House on Monday. Congratulating them, he stressed that members must strive to strengthen democracy and expressed hope that they will enhance the dignity and prestige of the Upper House.
Recently elected or re-elected members of the Rajya Sabha were administered oath on Monday by Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu. Chairman Naidu extended felicitations to the newly elected members. He urged the newly elected members of the House to uphold rules and procedures of the House while discharging their duties as the lawmakers for the country. He also urged the newly elected not to fall prey to the temptation of disrupting the proceedings of the House for short-term gains and instead to be cautious of their noble responsibility towards enhancing the standing of the apex legislature in public esteem.
The legislators across the country and also people at large, particularly youngsters, they look to Parliament and they look to Rajya Sabha for guidance and inspiration. So our conduct should add to the decency, dignity and decorum of the House. So I always tell members, discuss, debate and decide. Do not take recourse to the fourth D, that is disruption. Because we are all seeing the image of the institutions, legislatures, are going down because of certain happenings and all. So please utilize this opportunity to see that we all conduct ourselves to enhance the dignity of this House and also the respect for these institutions by the people and set high standards.
Chairman noted that parliamentary committee meetings are taking place and oath-taking was accordingly planned to enable participation of newly elected in the committee meetings. Chairman also urged the members to follow COVID protocols strictly.
It's a matter of concern and all of us should see to it that we guide people in a proper manner conduct ourselves in an exemplary manner so that the people get inspiration from us. Wearing the mask till further instructions is not only mandatory, it's a must for all of us in our health and in the health of the country. Second is Surakshita Duri, the safe distance. उसको मैं सुरक्षित दूरी कहता हूँ, सामाजिक दूर ऐसा नहीं है, सुरक्षित दूरी बेहतर होगा। ये इसका भी पालन करना बहुत जरूरी है।
Chairman Naidu suggested to the first-time members of Rajya Sabha to enhance their knowledge about the history and contribution and rules of the House. Kriti Mishra, Rajya Sabha TV.
Let's now tell you about the newly elected or re-elected members who took oath on Monday. 10 members elected or re-elected to Rajya Sabha took oath or affirmation on Monday. Narayan Koragappa from Karnataka, from Uttar Pradesh, Brijlal, Geeta, Ramji, Hardwar Dubey, Hardeep Singh Puri, Neeraj Shekhar, B.L. Verma, Ram Gopal Yadav, and from Uttarakhand, Naresh Bansal. These members were recently elected to the upper house. K. Narayan won a by-election from Karnataka after the seat fell vacant due to the demise of BJP member Ashok Gasti due to COVID-19. The other members were elected or re-elected after 10 members retired from Uttar Pradesh and 1 member retired from Uttarakhand. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV. And after taking oath, the newly elected members spoke to Rajya Sabha TV about their priorities ahead. Listen in.
देश में और सारी दुनिया में एक आपत्ति है, तो इस वक्त तो जीवन कैसे बचे यही पहली प्राथमिकता है। संसद चल नहीं रही है, संसद चलती है तो हम लोगों का विपक्ष में होने के नाते हमारा कर्तव्य है कि हम रचनात्मक भूमिका निभाएं विपक्ष की, और जो कहीं कमियां हैं और हैं गवर्नमेंट की उनको इंगित करें, सुधारने के लिए सुझाव दें, लेकिन लड़ें झगड़ें नहीं।
लेकिन मुख्य रहा हमारा सेवा, और आज यहाँ राज्यसभा में आकर के अब भी सेवा है। यहाँ रह करके मैं शायद तमाम लोगों की मदद करूं, और ख़ासकर उन लोगों को जो गरीब क्लास से आते हैं, डिप्रेस्ड क्लास से आते हैं, गरीब लोग हैं, उनकी आवाज़ उठा सकूं, उनके लिए कुछ कर सकूं, ये मेरा उद्देश्य रहेगा।
और जो भी राज्यसभा में केंद्र सरकार के द्वारा जो चीज़ें लाई जाएंगी उनमें निश्चित रूप से हम लोग उनको फॉलो करेंगे, और भाजपा जो एजेंडा है हम उसको पूरा करेंगे।
ನಾನು ಒಂದು ಸಣ್ಣ ಕುಟುಂಬದಿಂದ, ನೇಕಾರ ಕುಟುಂಬದಿಂದ ಬಂದೆ. ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು 50 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಸಮಾಜದ ಅನೇಕ ಚಟುವಟಿಕೆಗಳ ಜೊತೆ ಸಂಘ ಪರಿವಾರ ಮತ್ತು BJP ಜೊತೆ ಗುರುತಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಯಾವುದೇ ಆಕಾಂಕ್ಷೆಗಳನ್ನು ಪಡೆದೆ.
During the oath-taking ceremony of the members, several precautionary and remedial measures were taken to contain the spread of the COVID-19 infection and also ensure the well-being of the members of parliament. For the requirement of social distancing, the oath or affirmation was administered by the chairman in the chamber of Rajya Sabha for the second time. For the oath-taking, members were assigned specific seats in the Rajya Sabha chamber. Members were called state-wise, arranged alphabetically, and within each state, the names of members were also arranged alphabetically. Members were requested to take the pen along after signing the roll of members. Only 3 guests or family members were permitted to accompany the members to witness their oath-taking ceremony. Besides, members were also requested to get themselves as well as their guests and family members tested for COVID-19 at least 72 hours prior to the oath-taking ceremony. Rajya Sabha MP Jairam Ramesh, who is chairman, Department-related Parliamentary Standing Committee on Science and Technology, Environment, Forest and Climate Change, presented 7 reports on action taken by the government on the recommendations of the committee on demands for grants for the year 2020-21 of the Ministries of Earth Sciences, Atomic Energy, Biotechnology, scientific and industrial research, science and technology, space and environment, forest and climate change. Listen in.
ख़ास तौर से ये जो बजट के बारे में हमने अध्ययन किया था, विश्लेषण किया था, उस पर सिफारिशें दी थी और मजबूत करने के लिए मंत्रालयों को, और जो कार्यक्रम हैं, जो परियोजनाएं हैं, उसको और सख्ती के साथ उसका क्रियान्वयन कैसे हो, उस संदर्भ में ये सिफारिशें हैं। पर मोटे तौर से मैं कह सकता हूँ कि ज़्यादातर जो सिफारिश हमने की है वो मंत्रालय ने स्वीकारा है।
सर, एनवायरनमेंट जो है वो एक बड़ा अहम इशू है। साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी उस पर भी काम करता रहा ये जो आपका स्टैंडिंग कमेटी, तो उसके बारे में भी कुछ है खासतौर पे ऐसे समय जब पॉल्यूशन बिल्कुल पीक पे है?
ये एक विशेष मीटिंग भी हुआ था समिति का, जो प्रदूषण और ये महामारी के बीच में जो गहरा ताल्लुकात है, और ये इसमें दो राय नहीं हो सकती, इसमें कोई शक नहीं है कि प्रदूषण के कारण महामारी का असर और नकारात्मक हुआ है। ख़ास तौर से उत्तर भारत में, दिल्ली में देखने को मिला है। उस पर हमने विचार की, हमने बातचीत की। मंत्रालय, स्वास्थ्य मंत्रालय, पर्यावरण मंत्रालय, शहरी विकास मंत्रालय के अफसर आए थे, और जो कार्रवाई करनी है केंद्र सरकार की ओर से, राज्य सरकारों की भी इसमें एक बहुत भारी जिम्मेदारी है। तो कैसे हम एक होकर एक सामूहिक रणनीति बनाए। रणनीति के अलावा परियोजनाएं लागू करना बहुत ज़रूरी है।
आखिरी बात सर, कि कोरोना की जो महामारी है, साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी कमेटी, क्या उसके बारे में किसी तरह का आप लोग किसी को बुलाने वाले हैं?
उस पर भी तो हमने एक दो बारी अफसरों को बुलाया था। जो वैक्सीन का विकास हो रहा है, अभी प्रधानमंत्री भी गए हैं। 5 ऐसे कंपनियां हैं हमारे देश में जो वैक्सीन का विकास हो रहा है। उम्मीद करते हैं कि अगले 2-3 महीने में ये जो ट्रायल होता है, ये वैक्सीन की ट्रायल ख़त्म होगी।
आप लोग उनसे बात करने वाले हैं सर?
हाँ, हमारी मंत्रालय, हमारे जो साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी, ख़ास तौर से डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ बायोटेक्नोलॉजी के अफसर आए थे, और उन्होंने कहा था कि हमारे देश में 3 ऐसे कंपनियां हैं और जो काफ़ी आगे बढ़ चुके हैं, काफ़ी एडवांस स्टेज में हैं, बढ़ चुके हैं। हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि ये वैक्सीन हमारे देश में लागू हो सकता है।
Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla on Monday appointed 1986 batch IS officer of Uttarakhand cadre Utpal Kumar Singh as Secretary General of Lok Sabha. Singh has been appointed in the rank and status of Cabinet Secretary with effect from 1st of December 2020. He will succeed incumbent Snehlata Srivastava. Utpal Kumar Singh has 34 years of administrative experience in central as well as state governments. He is currently serving as secretary in the Lok Sabha Secretariat. He has served as Chief Secretary of Uttarakhand for more than 2.5 years. He has also held several important positions at the centre, including Additional Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers' Welfare. In some other news, India has asked SCO member nations to combat the menace of terrorism collectively. In a message clearly directed at China and Pakistan, he also emphasized that peace and security are the essential prerequisites of cooperation in a post-COVID era. Listen in to what all the Vice Presidents said. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu on Monday chaired the SCO Heads of Government Summit. He called on all SCO member countries to collectively combat terrorism while expressing concern about neighboring countries helping cross-border terrorist activities. Strongly asserting that facilitating terrorism is against the spirit of SCO, the Vice President emphasized that eliminating terrorism is essential for economic growth.
India condemns terrorism in all its manifestations. We remain concerned about threats emerging from ungoverned spaces and are particularly concerned about states that leverage terrorism as an instrument of state policy. Such an approach is entirely against the spirit and ideas and the charter of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Elimination of this threat will help all of us realize our shared potential and create conditions stable and secure economic growth and sustainable development.
The Vice President also underscored the need for participating nations to focus on post-COVID reconstruction efforts. He said peace and security will be essential prerequisites to cooperation among member countries.
The ongoing crisis has exposed the world to vulnerabilities, forcing us to explore ways to support each other. Our hope is pinned on trade and investment as an engine of reviving growth and driver of economic recovery. For trade to play its part in the recovery process, all the partners must be trustworthy and transparent. It is trust and transparency that determines the sustainability of our global trade. The nations must demonstrate their compliance with multilateral rules of trade to remain a part of this system. However, economic growth and trade can only operate in an environment of peace and security, because peace is the prerequisite for progress.
Vice President Naidu also raised concern about the shortcomings of global institutions in addressing COVID-19 pandemic. He laid stress on urgent reforms in these organizations, including the World Health Organization.
The socio-political impact of COVID-19 has been more acute and exposed the weakness of global institutions. This is the time to bring the much needed reforms to our global institutions, including the WHO, and rework our development strategies to face a post-COVID-19 world. For this, we need a reformed multilateralism that reflects today's realities.
The Vice President assured member nations that India will be ready to share its capabilities in fighting the pandemic. He mentioned that along with over 30 indigenous vaccines, over 70% global vaccines are being manufactured in India.
India has also been at the forefront of producing quality medicines and vaccines at low cost. More than 60% of the vaccines for global immunization program are being manufactured in India. And this global vaccine production and delivery capacity will be used to help all the countries in fighting this crisis. More than 30 indigenous vaccines are currently being developed in our country. 3 of them are in advanced stage. Thanks to its world-class pharmaceutical industry, India has demonstrated itself as a pharmacy to the world during the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic.
Kazakhstan will hold the chair of SCO Council of Heads of Governments in the year 2021. The SCO grouping of 8 nations includes India, Russia, China, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan and Uzbekistan. 4 nations, including Afghanistan and Iran, are observers and 6 are dialogue partners.
In post-COVID reconstruction period, a grouping like SCO is very important, provided they refrain from terrorism, provided they don't interfere in member nations' internal affairs, and they should also respect the territorial integrity of the member nations. Akhilesh Suman for Rajya Sabha Television with camera person Manoj in Delhi.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Monday dedicated to the nation 6-lane widening of the 73-kilometer Varanasi-Prayagraj National Highway during his visit to his Lok Sabha constituency. Speaking on the occasion, the Prime Minister said unprecedented work has been done on new highways, pull flyovers, widening of roads to reduce traffic jams in and around Varanasi. He also went on to target the opposition parties over the protests against the new agri-marketing laws, accusing them of playing tricks against the farmers. Here's a detailed report. Addressing a public meeting in Varanasi, Prime Minister Narendra Modi remarked that farmers and people living nearby would benefit greatly when modern connectivity expands in the area. He said the infrastructure projects will make people's lives easier.
70 किलोमीटर से ज्यादा का ये वो सफर अब आराम से होगा, तेज रफ्तार में होगा। इस हाईवे के चौड़ा होने से काशी और प्रयाग के बीच का आना जाना अब और आसान हो गया है। कांवड़ यात्रा के दौरान कावड़ियों को और इस क्षेत्र के लोगों को जो परेशानी होती थी, अब वो भी समाप्त हो जाएगी। इतना ही नहीं, इसका लाभ कुंभ के दौरान भी मिलेगा।
The Prime Minister said that the opposition parties were spreading miscommunication about the farm laws. He said that if farmers are apprehensive about the reforms, it is because of the history of deceit by previous governments. The Prime Minister asserted that the NDA government has a proven track record of keeping their promises.
सालों तक एमएसपी को लेकर छल किया गया। किसानों के नाम पर बड़े बड़े कर्ज माफी के पैकेज घोषित किए जाते थे, लेकिन छोटे और सीमांत किसानों तक ये पहुंचते ही नहीं थे। जो अभी हुआ ही नहीं है, जो कभी होगा ही नहीं, उसको लेकर समाज में भ्रम फैलाया जाता है।
Talking about the new agricultural reforms, the Prime Minister said that through the new laws, farmers will get a chance to sell their produce in the market. He added that the government is constantly working towards doubling farmers' income by providing seeds, irrigation facilities, market and insurance cover to them.
अब बनारस के आम की डिमांड विदेशों में भी निरंतर बढ़ रही है। अब यहां जो पैकेजिंग की सुविधाएं तैयार हो रही है, उस वजह से पैकिंग के लिए दूसरे बड़े शहरों में जाने की जरूरत अब नहीं रहेगी। आम के अलावा इस साल यहां की ताजा सब्जियां भी दुबई और लंदन पहुंची है। किसान को आधुनिक सुविधाएं देना, छोटे किसानों को संगठित करके उनको बड़ी ताकत बनाना, किसानों की आय बढ़ाने के प्रयास निरंतर जारी है।
Prime Minister Modi reiterated that farmers who wanted to follow the old system of trading through mandis are still free to do so. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The Prime Minister also participated in the Dev Deepavali celebrations in Varanasi by lighting the customary first diya at the Rajghat. 11 lakh diyas lit up on the ghats of River Ganga to mark the beginning of celebrations on the occasion of Kartik Purnima. The Prime Minister dedicated the Dev Deepavali celebrations to the Indian soldiers who have made the supreme sacrifice while protecting the motherland. The Prime Minister also visited the Kashi Vishwanath temple.
इस अवसर पर मैं देश की रक्षा में अपनी शहादत देने वाले, अपनी जवानी खपाने वाले, अपने सपनों को मां भारती के चरणों में बिखेरने वाले हमारे सपूतों को नमन करता हूं। चाहे सीमा पर घुसपैठ की कोशिशें हो, विस्तारवादी ताकतों का दुस्साहस हो, या फिर देश के भीतर देश को तोड़ने की कोशिश करने वाली साजिश है, भारत आज सबका जवाब दे रहा है।
Prime Minister Modi also visited Sarnath on the day and watched a light and sound show at an archaeological excavation site. In some other news, the government has called an all-party meeting to discuss the COVID-19 pandemic on the 4th of December that will be chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. According to reports, floor leaders of all parties from both houses of parliament have been called for the meeting, which will be held virtually on Friday at 10:30 a.m. This will be the second all-party meeting called by the government to discuss the COVID-19 situation since the outbreak of the pandemic. The top brass of the government, including Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, Home Minister Amit Shah, and Health Minister Dr. Harsh Vardhan, are expected to attend the meeting. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Monday interacted with 3 teams working on developing COVID-19 vaccine via video conferencing. These teams included Genova Biopharmaceuticals Limited Pune, Biological E Limited Hyderabad, and Dr. Reddy's Laboratories Hyderabad. During the meeting, Prime Minister Modi lauded efforts by scientists in these companies to come out with a vaccine solution to tackle COVID-19. The Prime Minister asked these companies to come out with their suggestions and ideas regarding the regulatory processes. He also suggested that they should take extra efforts to inform the general public in simple language about the vaccine. Let's now take a look at the COVID-19 situation in the country. India recorded less than 40,000 new cases of coronavirus in the last 24 hours. The country reported 38,772 new cases of coronavirus on Monday and 443 deaths during the same period. The country also registered 45,333 new recoveries in the last 24 hours. Sustained shedding of active caseload continues with only 4,46,000 active cases in the country at present, comprising about 4.74% of the total caseload. The total recovered cases stand at 88,47,000, while the total cases in India stand at 94,31,000, including 1,37,139 deaths. India crossed a landmark milestone in its fight against COVID-19, with the total tests having crossed the 14 crore mark on Monday. 8,76,000 tests were conducted in the last 24 hours. Kerala reported 5,643 cases in the last 24 hours, followed by Maharashtra, which recorded 5,544 new cases. National capital Delhi reported another 4,906 new cases yesterday. Maharashtra reported 85 deaths, while Delhi saw a fatality count of 68 and West Bengal reported 54 new deaths. President Ramnath Kovind on Monday greeted citizens on the occasion of Guru Purab, the birth anniversary of Guru Nanak Dev, saying he showed people the path of unity, harmony and service. The President said the life and teachings of Guru Nanak Dev are an inspiration for all human beings. The President also inaugurated the renovated PBG Regimental Gurudwara and paid his homage. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu also wished people on the occasion. He said, the founder of Sikhism remains an icon of truth, compassion and righteousness. He added, the teachings of the Sikh Guru have universal appeal and will forever inspire people to follow the path of compassion and humility. Also paying tributes to Guru Nanak Dev, Prime Minister Narendra Modi hoped that his thoughts continue to motivate people to serve society and also ensure a better planet. Guru Purab, the birth anniversary of Guru Nanak Dev, is being celebrated with religious fervour across the country and also abroad. The first Guru of Sikhs, Guru Nanak Dev, was born in 1469 in Nankana Sahib, now in Pakistan. And that's it from us in this bulletin. But before we leave, we once again appeal to all our viewers to stay safe from the COVID-19 pandemic. wear face masks, wash hands and face regularly, and maintain physical distancing while stepping outside. Remember, these simple precautions are all that it takes to defeat the pandemic. Good night, and thank you very much for your time.